28-20 is your final, behind the arm and legs once again of Jalen Hurts, who goes for 152 through the air and 62 on the ground. The Birds, now 15 in a row, started and finished by Jalen Hurts. Joe Musso, pleased to be in studio alongside my guy, Emery Hunt. Bryant McFadden joining the conversation as well, fellas. Spitting, taunting, and lightning, the opener had a little bit of everything, and I want to start where it started. Before a single snap, Jalen Carter gets shown the door because of an unsportsmanlike conduct, spitting on Dak Prescott. How do you characterize that moment that led off this season?
Yeah, that was the worst way to start a season for Jalen Carter, because now it has ramifications. Not only, and they sorely needed him tonight, although they got the win. This is a big loss, and it may even be a subsequent loss in another game.
You got to learn to control your emotions. We knew this was going to be a very, very high energy like atmosphere when you talk about opening night, Thursday night football, when you talk about two divisional teams that don't like each other at all. And that's the first thing you do. Jalen Carter is the best defensive player on the Eagles team. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the National Football League. He didn't participate in one snap. So this is something that he has to learn from, but Nick Sirianni got to nip this in the bud immediately. And now we don't even know if he will be punished by the NFL also, outside of being kicked out of tonight's matchup. So instantly when he got kicked out, it was like a sigh of relief from the Cowboys sideline and clearly from their fan base, because they felt like the opportunity was there, and we saw a nice, successful drive to start the game, not having Jalen Carter in the lineup.
Yeah, when you are the better team in a matchup, you're looking to snuff out hope of your opponent. You offered hope there early. 0 sacks here for the Philadelphia Eagles. We knew it's going to take some time for them to get their edge rushers up to speed. The pressure's going to come from the middle. And with the big fella not available, we saw a lack of pressure, which made things even more difficult on the back end. In the end, it is a 4-point victory. B-Mac, what did you make of the offensive execution from there, from Philadelphia? A lot of the same core tenets that we saw throughout last season: run the ball effectively and a dual threat quarterback that can make you pay in two ways.
Yeah, what Jalen Hurts was more impactful running the football. For some reason, the passing game wasn't there. New offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo has to find a way to get things going in the passing game. Most importantly, get A.J. Brown going, right? It was all about Dallas Goedert tonight. But outside of that, Jalen Hurts became a playmaker running the football, and they needed that. I mean, he had a pedestrian night throwing the football, but what you did not get from him in the air, you received on the ground. And that's who he is. That's why I love about Jalen Hurts. You can say whatever you want to say about him not being a playmaker, not being a high-level quarterback. He is a guy that gets things done, either running the football or just improvising, and we saw that tonight. And I can tell you this much, it was a very, very sloppy game by the Philadelphia Eagles. But at the end of the game, they had more points than their opponent, and that's the most important thing.
We talk about all the time, B-Mac. He creates a math problem, that sort of dual threat quarterback. You got to account for one on the quarterback. A couple of those red zone early in the game, they do not. A couple rushing touchdowns for Hurts. I want to take you there, Emery, because I'm looking at 44 points, 0 punts before the lightning delay. We got 0 points, 2 punts, and a turnover on downs after it. Did you see the stoppage affect the flow of the game or the outcome in any way?
It did affect the flow, because both teams were going up and down the field. And we even saw that toward the back end of the second quarter, when Dallas drove down the field and got in field goal range to get the 3 points to cut it to 21-20. But then after that long extended break, both offenses came out sputtering. And what we did see from Philadelphia on both halves was a lack of getting the ball to A.J. Brown. He had, one catch for 8 yards?
Late.
So we have to find a way, if you're the offensive coordinator, to get him involved early. We joked about this in the pregame, like, hey, maybe they're going to pepper him with targets on the opening series. We didn't see him get a target until late in the second half. And then they really didn't have success running the ball inside. Dallas, surprisingly, was stuffing the inside run. A lot of Saquon Barkley's big runs, and a lot of runs that we saw Jalen Hurts have came off scrambles, and Saquon Barkley's runs came off tackle. So they have to find a way to get that push on the interior. Landon Dickerson obviously is a big part of that. He wasn't able to go 100% for the full game. So there were some things he got to work on, but granted, it's the first game of the season. It's like the fourth preseason game, essentially. We'll see them get this thing figured out.
We'll call them coachable opportunities
Right.
for the defending champs, both in-game and in between plays. The selfishness is a word that comes to mind of Jalen Carter in that situation, to put his team in the situation he did for the remainder of this game. We did see Dak Prescott's role in that interaction as well. I'm sure it will be picked apart at nauseum in the hours to come. I want to move forward with some more football here, B-Mac. This is a head coaching debut, and that was kind of swept under the rug with all that was going on with the Dallas Cowboys. Brian Schottenheimer had his guys ready to play. They had an opportunity to win this football game at numerous junctures coming out of that break as well. What did you make of the readiness of the Cowboys under their new head coach?
You know what? Championship caliber team, you got to make the routine plays happen routinely. That's what good teams do. That's what good teams do. You talked about the highlight coming into this post-game show here with CeeDee Lamb missing that catch. That's a routine play, especially for your superstar wide receiver. What about the third down missed opportunity on the dig route? The ball goes through CD's hands and hits him in the face mask, pops up in the air. That's a routine play. Those are things you have to complete if you want to beat teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to have a playoff hope, you have to make routine plays happen routinely. Miles Sanders, right before the stoppage happened, you're down 4 points, 24-20. All the momentum is in your favor. A routine run. You fumbled the football. Guys, what was the final score of the ball game?
24-20.
Thank you. At that moment, you're going in to score 7. Philly didn't score another point. Those are the things teams like the Cowboys, they have to get out of their system. Just make routine plays happen routinely. If you do that in a consistent way, you'll come out on top more so than not. And that's what we saw. You change the dynamics of any one of those plays that I just highlighted. The Cowboys probably would win this ball game.
Emery, it's a quarterback and a head coach that feel like they maybe maximized what they could have done in this football game for the Dallas Cowboys. Some issues that B-Mac points out around it. But again, there was an opportunity for Dallas to come out here with no air in their balloon after the last 7 days. A week removed from trading away the face of your franchise. What did you make of their effort in this opener?
I love the effort. And what was fascinating about this whole thing, guys, was we thought coming into this ball game, we expect to see calamity on defense. But the defense actually held its own throughout the course of the game. The calamity came on the offensive side, where B-Mac talked about the drop passes, the fumbles, some blown assignments, another drop pass in the end zone by the tight end. Granted, would have been a tough catch, but you got to make those grabs. Defensively, the interior defense in particular was outstanding. They shut down the interior run. We saw the wave of depth that they said they had at defensive end show up in this ball game. James Houston got in there and got some touches and got active in the backfield. You saw Ezraku, I thought he had a really good game against Jordan Mailata. He beat him a couple of times in the backfield. We saw Dante Fowler get action in the back, got a hit. Nealon had some success on both ends of defense. So was very impressed with Solomon Thomas as well. The defense for Dallas actually came ready to play. We talk about A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 8 yards. Maybe that was because of the coverage of the back end. We got to see the all 22 to judge that. But hey, credit to Dallas's defense. The offense had to hold up its end of the bargain, and you expect CeeDee Lamb to be that guy to make those plays, as opposed to what we saw transpire in that fourth quarter.
Mac, our resident Super Bowl defender here, what did you make of the defensive effort here? Because I was looking at that run game coming into this one. Jerry says we want to bolster the middle to stop the run, and it was the edges that were unkept, allowing Jalen Hurts in the first half to kind of get out and pad those rushing numbers. Philadelphia finishes with 158 half. What did you make of the run stop effort specifically for Dallas?
You know what, I applaud Matt Eberflus for the adjustments, because to your point, in the first half, it looked like it was going to get ugly. Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing the football well, but he was running the football well. Coming out, making things happen. Like I said, a +1 in the running game. I love that about Jalen Hurts. But what we saw in the second half was defensive linemen rushing with the right, proper gap integrity, making sure they keep containment on Jalen Hurts. To Emery's point, making sure they're stout in the interior of the offensive line, not allowing Saquon Barkley to find those small creases. So yes, they made the necessary adjustments. We feel like this would take some time for them when you look at this new team, this new personnel and everything they have going on.